So I'm making what I call a fish casserole. So it starts out with a nice big casserole dish, and then you want to go to the grocery store, and I always ask the seafood department, the guy in the seafood department, what's fresh, what came in recently, what's a good fish to get this time of year, because fish changes seasonally. Different fish are better at certain times of the year, and they know, they're going to be honest with you. So I'm going to spray my dish with cooking spray. And we happen to find tilapia, which is a nice fish pretty much year-round. So that's a fish that you can buy frozen and just let it thaw. Or this happened to be fresh. So it's just, it happened to be what looked good at the time. And this is what the guy at the fish behind the fish counter at Festival suggested. So I'm going to take my fish. And like I say, I think a lot of people are intimidated by cooking fish at home. I'm going to lay my fish fillets, which are beautiful, right into my casserole dish. And now I'm going to make a lovely topping to go on the top. And this is just so quick and easy. Starts with some melted butter. And I'm just melting that just for a little bit. I also have some Parmesan cheese. I'm going to do a little fresh lemon juice over the fish. Squeeze some of that over the fish. A couple of seeds, we'll get those out of there. And then a little bit of Old Bay seasoning. Just to give that fish some flavor. We're also going to put some of this in the topping that we're going to put on top. Found another lemon seed or two. Okay, which wouldn't be good. Okay, so now for the topping. Parmesan cheese. I'm going to do some fresh breadcrumbs. You could use dried breadcrumbs, but I really like the idea of using fresh breadcrumbs for this recipe. And the way to do that is just, if you've got some bread that needs using, basically take a couple pieces of bread. You can cut off the crusts or you don't have to. I just usually rip it up a little bit, put it in my food processor. And just pulse it a couple times until it gets nice and crumbly. Perfect. Okay. A couple more times. All right, so in with my Parmesan cheese, I'm going to do some mayonnaise. Some dried onion flake, some more lemon juice, no seeds hopefully. There's another one. Boy, the other day we had a lemon with no seeds in it. This one, all the seeds ended up in this one. A little bit of pepper, a little bit of melted butter. Going to mix that together, my Old Bay seasoning, and you can do some dried dill, or if you've got fresh dill, that's really nice too. We happen to have some fresh, so I'm going to do some fresh dill, and the best way to work with fresh dill, it's such a tender herb that it really doesn't do well when you chop it up, so I like to just use some kitchen shears. Give it a haircut. And as Ann says, give it a little haircut. All right. I love the combination of seafood and dill together. Okay, now we're going to take some of those breadcrumbs. This is going to be a nice crispy topping for the top of this fish, but it's got the mayo in there and the melted butter. Really is going to be terrific. So you mix this together. This is the easiest recipe. It's fantastic. And you just slather a nice amount of it on each piece of fish. I love going out to a fish fry, but I'm not a big fan of frying fish at home because the house smells like a fish fry for weeks, unless you've got one of those outside fryers. A lot of people have those at the cottage, which is really nice. So I'm always trying to figure out a way to, bake fish at home. And this really is a winner. All right. Just check the fish that we've got in the oven. Oh, wow. I'm pretty excited about that. Wait till you see it. Okay. We'll get the mixture over one last piece of fish. And again, just kind of spread it over the top. Spreads pretty easily. Now, depending on how many pieces of fish, we did 4, but these are large pieces of fish. This is going to take about anywhere between 12 and 15, 20 minutes in your oven. And then at the end, what you want to do, if you're not getting a nice brown topping on the top, what you can do at the very end is crank on the broiler just for a minute or two. Keep a close eye on it. You want to make sure that top gets nice and golden. It may do it right in your oven on bake, but toward the end, if you notice the fish is getting done and the the top isn't quite golden, that's when you want to throw on your broiler. So come back with me. This looks perfect. This is just what you're looking for. And what happens is the breadcrumbs really brown up and the mayonnaise really helps. How gorgeous is this? Yum. I know, total yum. And it really makes a nice kind of, the breadcrumb buttery topping. I love to serve this with some fresh steamed asparagus, some rice pilaf. We actually have some wild rice here. So a little bit of wild rice. Maybe a nice big salad would be lovely. And we'll take a piece of this fish out of here. You can see it's nice and flaky. I know, total. And then maybe garnish it with a little bit of lemon. I always say you could never have too much lemon with fish. Maybe a slice or two of lemon. There you go. And then maybe a little bit of fresh dill might be nice on there too. Just to kind of, I like to finish the dish with some fresh herbs, and I think a little bit of fresh dill is always nice with fish. So there you go. I call it my baked fish casserole. Really, it's just pieces of nice white flaky fish covered in a buttery breadcrumb topping with a little bit of mayonnaise, Parmesan cheese, lemon juice, and it is always a winner. What it does, that topping really makes the fish stay nice and moist, not dry out, and it tastes great too. So we'll put the recipe, by the way, for this fish casserole on our website. You can also pick it up at any area Festival Foods.